Hello, everyone, and welcome
Rip,
back. What's up?
you cut out right at the start of your intro.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1 of Black Ink. I don't know why I keep doing that. Under locks and
Hey,
keys.
we just played it on 2 days.
Shush. When we last left off, the party traveled to the region of Yav, on the other side of the world from their slowly budding little homestead in Tortage. Making their way into the politically tumultuous land, they traveled through the Shadow Lily Confederacy, did a little bit of exploration, and made their way out into the Sprintwood, the territory of the Tebadran Bandit Kingdom. Somewhere in the depths of this forest lies the accursed lake of Eat, the fallen god, cursed for their role in the Titanomachy, to be forever consumed by hunger that can never be sated. After wandering the territories surrounding the Sprintwood for most of the day, Avaven, using his ranger talents, managed to get the party back on track. And they have set up camp outside of the Sprintwood to avoid having to deal with the presence of the fallen god while tired and in darkness. And you guys were all planning to keep watch. If I recall correctly, the watches were Paul, Asari, and Avaven. So Paul and Asari roll perception at disadvantage. Avaven, roll perception flat.
Okay, I'm back. I kind of caught the tail end of that. Can you repeat that for me, please?
Yeah, you guys are keeping watch. Roll perception at disadvantage. And also, Avaben, do remember that as perception is a wisdom skill and you're in your favorite terrain, you can add your proficiency bonus twice. So you may add an additional +4 to whatever you roll.
Yeah. 18.
Okay, 18 from you. Paul?
Oh shit, here we go.
Okay. Sorry?
13.
Okay. Just so I remember who was keeping the last watch, I believe it was Avaben. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, pretty sure it was a Vaven.
Okay.
He told them that they could just.
Yeah, wake
He
him
said
up after he's meditated for a little bit, and he'll take over for the rest of the night.
he just needed 4 hours to meditate, and he's got the rest of the night.
All right, cool. In that case, Paul and Dr. Ku, your personal watches through the night, it's dark. The Yavik countryside is beautiful, even in the night, but you are not able to see a whole lot. However, the fact that other than the nearby forest, most of the land around you, while there is, hills and valleys where something could theoretically be lurking, you still have enough of a good view of your surroundings to be pretty confident that, at the very least from that direction, nothing's going to sneak up on you. However, Paul, with the distant sound of animal life and just trying to keep watch on your surroundings, you're not able to get a whole lot. You're not sure if whatever odd noise Greylog may have heard or what produced it has continued to follow you, and the dark forest is
There was
not
an
providing.
odd noise?
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
Last session.
I don't remember that at all.
Well, sorry, a little more adapted to nighttime conditions from a few late nights at the university. You're able
Yeah.
to take in your surroundings with a little bit more detail, but at the very least, nothing you can immediately detect alerts you to anything suspicious. Whether it's just luck, potentially whatever curse lies on this land is chasing off all but the most foolish or brave of banditry. Or perhaps you like to think that seeing how heavily healed your party goes, they may have simply thought better of attempting to ambush you. Whatever the case, both of your watches pass uneventfully, and you awaken Avaben from his meditation for his watch. And Avaben, watching your surroundings, much like the first two, you can see the distant cravens over sites of human activity. You can see, or more hear, some of the distant ambience of cities, some coming from the direction of the forest, some coming from the Shadow Lily lands you've left behind. But your watch and the night pass uneventfully. You all get a long rest. If you have rations, you can go ahead and knock off a day of them if you wish, or you can wait to see if maybe you get some later. And with that, Avaben, as your watch comes to an end, the party begins to rouse themselves, and you all awaken and start picking up your camp on the edge of the Sprintwood. What would you all like to do?
Let's get going.
Dive back into the big horse.
What?
He's turning, from the sounds of it, he's wild shaping back into an animal to pull the cart.
Yeah, he's turning back into the war horse. Sorry, I had
Okey-dokey.
to move my phone back. Is this better?
Well, I mean, you were fine. We just couldn't hear him very well.
Oh, yeah.
Thought she was gonna say warthog.
Yeah, turn into a warthog to pull a cart. That's a very orcish move. All right, Paul. Anything noteworthy from you?
Did we grab a map?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Grab the map.
This time.
So telling from the map, how long can I tell, like, how much longer is it gonna be?
Make a survival check.
Yeah, are we there yet, Dad?
We'll turn this cart around.
Let's
Oh, and of course, since you have the map advantage, so yeah, survival
it
with
was
advantage.
Oh, cool.
Man, a
cool,
lot of
cool,
people
cool.
claiming to have cooked dice today.
And sometimes the dice are just cocked.
Well, I was leaning up. I was leaning up against my vape. So, let's see. I don't know. He's at advantage.
That's a 6.
It's a 6? I thought that was a 9. My bad.
Doesn't it have
So,
a mark?
what's 8 plus 7? My brain doesn't want to work. I have a plus 7 to my survival.
15.
15.
Okay. Asari, as you pile back into the cart, Greylog gets ready to pull. Paul mounts his mount, and Avaben, I'm assuming you're going to continue guiding the party forward.
Yep.
As you take the reins, Asari, in the back of the cart, you unfurl the map and check it once more, and true to Avaben's estimations from the previous night, Avaben, I believe, had mentioned that if you had chosen to simply travel through the night, you would have arrived at Lake Thalasso by morning. So, leaving now, assuming nothing interrupts you and you don't stop, you'll most likely arrive at Lake Thalasso by nightfall.
Okay. I would like to say, once we get there, I want to start preparing preparing to get myself out for a ritual spell.
Okay. Does anyone have anything beyond that during the just trip through the forest itself?
Not really.
Just want to keep an eye out on the surrounding.
You with
Okay.
your horse eyes.
Roll
You
perception,
got your
horse.
horse stats? Yeah, do you got your horse stats?
They're my natural stats, love.
Oh yeah. No, like I legitimately forgot that like you can use your own stats when you wild shape. It's been so long since I've played a druid.
You said perception, right?
Yes.
Nice.
22.
Okay.
Does the Vaven need to roll another stealth for the party?
No, you had rolled before, but since you decided to, set up camp first, I just counted that stealth roll towards like the setting up of camp and this trip itself. However, I will say that again, this trip is going to be quite long. I will say that your journey will be as stealthy as you can make it from your previous efforts. However, if you want to arrive at the lake stealthily, then basically if you want to still be stealth by the time you get there, then yes, go ahead and roll again if you wish.
Natural 1.
All right, noted.
Oh no! Oh no!
So 8 in total.
Roger Dodger.
We're here!
And
It's gonna be looking around and get hit in the face by a branch and fall down and yell fuck as loud as fucking possible.
It just like echoes throughout the entire forest.
yeah, like the lake ripples.
Yeah, it's just one of those shots where it just zooms out and you just see birds fly off.
Yeah.
And...
You all begin your journey through the Sprintwood. It's rather unnerving. You know the territory to be considered cursed, even by those who dwell in it. You know that those few who do choose to dwell in it are bandits, those who would not think twice about taking you for everything you're worth and then leaving you to rot in the forest. And that's to say nothing of what this mysterious Aquatarchus might do to you, if and when you find it. As you travel, you see the typical presence of forest creatures. But, Greylog, with your perception, I will say you're the first to notice this. The travel during the bulk of the day itself is suspenseful, but otherwise uneventful. At worst, Vaben occasionally gets a little startled by an animal running through the bushes.
Animals humping in the undergrowth.
Yeah, that sort of thing. But as the sun is beginning to set and you're getting deep into the Sprintwood now, at this point, even if you wanted to turn back, you would never make it out before it was dark. You begin to notice changes in the animals. creatures that would run or fly away or hide when your cart passed by begin to just stop and stare as you go.
That's creepy.
You notice a craven perched on a nearby branch, two of them, in fact, seemingly a mating pair. And you notice as you pass beneath the branch they're perched on, they don't fly away. They don't react at all startled to your presence. And as you pass beneath them, you can feel drips of water beginning to soak your fur, even though the sky is completely clear. Eventually, the sun sets. Avaben, you quickly guide the party as much as you can, standing a bit in your seat in the cart in an effort to make sure the party gets to the clearing where the lake is before it's too dark for the rest of them to see anymore, as it'd be quite possible for even with your guidance the party to get lost if you're the only one who can see. But while you do see a distant body of water beginning to become visible in the branches, sure enough, your standing up to get an elevated view betrays you, and a branch whacks you in the face, and and you
Sorry, laughing.
yeah, and you fall back into the cart. A little bit of blood spattered across your face, but otherwise not incredibly injured.
At least it didn't break your nose, mate.
Well, I don't see you taking the initiative.
I'm not the ranger.
Yeah, so let him do his job.
Yeah, fine job you're doing that.
And sorry, as you make your sassy remark, Greylog continuing to pull the cart, you all pull out into the clearing, and Lake Thalasso stretches out before you.
Okay, I'm gonna start going through my backpack.
Alright.
If I can get my fucking shit together. And then she's gonna pull out a small little vial.
Okay.
And then I'll just carry it for now. Do I see where like the little cove that's apparently where we're supposed to go?
Make a perception check, and just keep your roll at the ready. As Asari starts rifling through her bag, gathering tools of magic and science alike, the rest of you, Vaben, kind of wiping at your face, the rest of you take a moment to survey your surroundings. Lake Thalasso is, while not unprecedentedly massive for a lake, is fairly big, easily the size of like a small town. But the most unsettling thing you notice is the water is not clear, but nor is it that kind of murky brownish color that just a dirty lake would be. The water is this unsettling, dark, inky black. Traces of blue visible. The whole thing is this kind of midnight blue color, as if someone took a thin pipette of lake water and filled an inkwell with it.
Huh. I'm gonna look to Ivaben. Have you I've seen anything like that before.
I did not hear what they said.
Have you ever seen anything
I said,
like this before?
What happened?
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Have you seen anything like this
No.
before?
What are they talking about?
Oh, just the fact that the water is like black, basically.
Oh no, has he seen anything like this before?
Make a nature check.
and then while he does that, I know that I need to do a perception check, but as I'm doing a little look-see, could I maybe think about maybe some history books I read? Because, history
I
buff.
believe you've already rolled history on this entity. That's how you figured out that, figured out the basics of, like, the religious context of this creature.
Okay.
I got a 15.
Okay.
Alright. Avaven, while you've not seen it personally, you have heard the stories of Lake Thalasso. Nothing that would be particularly news to the party, and most of it's already been talked about, but you've heard stories of water that leaves a permanent mark on those who consume it. And this distant, godly entity taking things into itself. Among your culture, many believe that eat does not necessarily infect you, it reawakens something that's already dormant. This creature existed before many races did. Elves and dwarves and dragonborn had not come to be yet when this creature existed. Many among your people believe that this creature is indeed so ancient that the infection is not a true one, it is simply a reawakening of something that lies dormant within us all.
Can I?
Greylog, as you monitor the coast of the lake, just keeping an eye out for anything dangerous, you can see distant campsites kind of scattered loosely around the lake. Signs of clear occupation. However, despite that, you notice that animals just kind of freely intermingle with these inhabited areas. The animals, much as the ones you passed through in the forest, don't seem to have any fear of people. And Paul finally, Avaven, since you were the only one who hadn't specifically taken anything in, you notice that the water itself, it doesn't ripple, it doesn't have waves, it's completely still, unnaturally so. The kind of stillness you would normally only see in a puddle that's sheltered from the wind. And looking in all directions, the growing darkness of night giving you a bit of leeway on what you're able to see. True to the map, you see no river or waterfall or source of water that could have put this water here. It's as if it's trapped, unable to leave, unable to take anything in. Sorry, perception?
17.
Looking around, you don't see a cove. In fact, you don't see much of anything. The trees of the Sprintwood completely surround this lake, isolating it from the rest of the world. While birds perch in the trees, similar to what I noted with Avaben, you also notice no rivers or anything that could put this water here. And from what you and Avaben saw on the map, the rivers that flow near it just cut off, as if the gods themselves did not want to grant whatever resides in this lake access to other bodies of water.
Alright, fuck it. So, I'm going to take a bio, and I'm I'm going to douse my hands in the oil, and I'm going to rub the oil around my eyes, and I'm going to cast True Seeing on myself.
Okay.
You see true sight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, True Sight, whatever. No.
Okay. As Asari conducts this ritual on themselves to let them see into the world beyond, what are the rest of you doing?
They just gonna watch
So
the water for a little bit, see if anything happens around it that catches his attention.
Okay. Paul?
and then,
Oh, Grayla, go ahead.
can you mute yourself?
Okay, how does this sound?
That's fine.
Okay, so what I would like to do, because we're stopping for the night, correct? Because we don't want to do anything during the nighttime, since we can't see.
I don't think we agreed on that.
Like,
It sounds like some people are doing some research.
Yeah. Sorry's just kind of having a look-see to see if maybe she can see what's going on here.
well,
Even if we do, that will give her a chance to be able to recast it. So either way, I'm fine.
the only thing he's going to really do then is once once we're ready for bed, he's going to cast plant growth and put like a natural wall around our area so the animals and other campers on the other side can't just come in on us. Or at least not without us seeing them.
Okay. And Paul?
So, I guess I would like to touch the water.
Okay.
I
As
think it's
Asari...
just gonna be like, do you think that's a wise idea?
Yeah, like as he
Paul's ignoring me.
approaches, you really think you should be doing that?
You're doing a ritual.
Okay. What do I see? What happens when I truly
Well,
see what's
it's going
happening?
to take you a few minutes for the ritual to kick in.
Oh. It just said, it said that it was like an action.
Well, yeah, but you're ritual casting it. Ritual casting it means that it won't
Takes
consume a
10
spell
minutes.
slot, but yeah, but it takes 10 minutes to do.
Oh, okay.
Asari, you and Avaben both vocalize your concern as Paul approaches the water, but he's silent, almost as if answering a call. And Greylog, as you begin to erect your wall of plant life, Paul, you take a knee on the coast and place a hand into the water. It's cool to the touch. And by touch, nothing's unusual about it. It's familiar to you, but in a way that's hard to describe. An instinct more than a memory, if that makes any sense. It almost feels to you like the water touches you back. At this point, moonlight is beginning to spread. This turquoise greenish blue glowing over the Sprintwood. And Paul, you're able to make out your reflection in the water, despite its darkness. Your reflection stares back at you. Greylog, as you're erecting your wall of plant life, you can see a figure in an orange cloak beginning to make its way around the lake towards you. Its hands are behind its back, but at a glance, you see that other than the cloak, it appears shirtless, male from the looks of it, humanoid, but its face is hidden from view, and its hands are behind its back, so if it's holding anything, you can't see it.
I'm just gonna keep an eye on it and alert the party that hey, somebody's coming, and he's gonna try to erect his little barrier quicker because it covers 100 feet, and he can have a clearing in the middle of whatever size he wants, according
Okay.
to spell.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Greylog, you notice the figure stop. It's still a pretty good distance away from you. It couldn't have heard what you said. And Paul, you hear a voice speak to you in your mind. Almost feminine. Beautiful.
Mhm.
So, fate has brought you back to my waves once again. Do you bring me fresh minds?
As Paul kind of thinks about this, well, I mean, I don't really remember much, so could you remind me what happened last time?
That wasn't part of our deal. I do not give knowledge. I ask again. Have you brought me fresh minds?
I might need a reminder on our deal then.
The figure resumes walking. Asari, as you rub the oil into your eyes and finally part your hands and open them. Greylog, for my clarification, is the lake still accessible from your barricade, or does the barricade cut the water off from you?
I mean, either way is sorry. Could just
Oh no,
step
yeah,
out of the
it's going to affect how I
barricade.
describe it, if whether you can see it directly or not.
Okay.
Well, because he was planning to originally erect the barrier, like once everyone was done, like with the water and stuff, so like he could separate the water from us.
Okay.
But since they're still doing their thing, I would probably say that he wouldn't.
Okay.
So, because why would he keep his party members outside of the barrier?
Okay. Asari, you're not able to see Paul directly from your current position, as Greylog's protective plant wall separates the paladin from the rest of you. However,
Yeah, I'm just gonna mutter angrily to myself and just step out of it.
No. I said I wasn't going to cut off.
Oh, he said he wasn't going to.
all right, well, you
because
said
of the
your
fact
original
that-
plan was to have the water in the barricade, but then you changed your mind. So I was like, okay, so it's not in it then.
Yeah,
I'm
my
confused.
original plan was okay. Do I need to type this out? Make it a bit more
Oh,
clear?
no. I understand what you're saying now. Just it wasn't very clear the first time. Okay. So in that
My
case, as trees and water lilies and vines and ivies begin to emerge from the inky black waters, Paul, you are not cut off from the creature, but Asari, as the plant wall begins to tighten and defensively protect you from anything that may be coming in, Asari, as the oil stings your eyes, you look around and then your eyes lock on Paul. Whereas Avaben and Greylog simply see the paladin sticking his hand into the water, kind of splashing it around almost idly, feeling the water and its temperature and texture. You see something very different. This entire water is not water. It is a collection of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of small pieces of a soul. Think of it like, I hate to use like a pop culture reference for it, but have you seen Big Hero 6? Sorry.
Yes.
You know the microbots?
Yeah.
Imagine if the water was made completely out of them, except every individual microbot was a soul.
Okay.
And where Paul sees himself simply touching the surface of the water, you see a spectral, ethereal tentacle beginning to wrap around his palm. And beneath the water, out of sight, you can't see what's creating it. You see there's a soul on the other side.
I'm just gonna over to Ben and just kind of try to make it so maybe Paul can't hear me. I'm just gonna be like, this is bad. We need to get him away from that water.
What's going on?
There's something. It's weird. It's like 1,000 million souls, and they're all just overlapping each other, and something is grabbing him. I can't really see what, but I don't think this is good.
Well, if you want
She's gonna look at him.
pull him away, I'll make sure nothing goes wrong. I'm sure you can handle it. If something happens, I'll be right
Okay.
there.
Alright.
I just want to keep a
Greg.
lookout until I can't.
Greg. Do me a favor, Greg. Just stand by with healing if you can. He gives a thumbs up. I'm going to try to grab Paul away from the goopy monster. I'm gonna try to tug him away.
Okay, Paul, do you allow her
I'm
to
gonna
do so?
say, as I do, I'm just gonna kind of say, come on, you need to get away from this thing.
I have to say, Paul doesn't allow it.
Okay. Grapple
Oh
contest.
boy. Oh boy.
Paul's decently
This is
One.
not
Asari is a big
Blood-
lizard person.
what are you rolling?
Yeah, but Paul's decent.
Yeah, but she also has
you-
no strength.
Yeah, you have to do athletics, and I do acrobatics or athletics.
What? I have a -1 modifier.
I have a plus
Okay, not
6.
bad.
I rolled poorly.
It's not my strongest area. Bless you.
I mean,
Bless
I
you
rolled-
again.
I rolled low.
I rolled okay. It's just that -1 modifier is not
Okay,
helping
sorry.
me.
What did you roll?
13. I
Paul?
rolled a 14. So
I rolled a 6, so 12.
Okay. Paul, while you could pull away from the archaeologist, you're admittedly somewhat concerned you might hurt her. So you allow her to pull you away from the shores of the lake, more to prevent from... You can always just walk back to it once she lets go of you anyway. However, as you do so, the voice rings out in your head again, almost trying to speak fast before the connection is broken. Drink me, and I can give you all the answers you seek. Taste my waters, Paul Whitefeather.
Oh no. I'm gonna fucking throw something at you, Jeremy.
They can hear you.
Greylog, as Paul is pulled away from the coast, you hear some rustling in the barricade of plants and see that soaking wet cravens are beginning to perch on the branches of your protective barricade and just stare down into it at all of you.
Does the Raven notice that?
Yeah, they're not exactly hiding.
Yeah.
A Raven gets the... This could wind up being close if they're approaching now. So I guess a Raven will have the pistol and his short sword ready.
Alright.
Maybe try to shoo the cravens away.
Oh, and by the way, the clearing that he created is about 20 feet by 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you're aware.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Avaben, you ready your mid-range and close-range weaponry, and the Craven just kind of tilts its head and looks at you. And Greylog
kind of waves the short sword in their general direction to try and shoo them away.
The Craven kind of adjusts its posture on the branch and lowers itself, but does not leave. It seems to be deferring, but not scared. And from the direction where you guys had seen the humanoid figure closing in from, you hear a voice ring out. And Paul, whenever this humanoid speaks, you hear the voice in your head echo it perfectly, as if they were speaking in perfect unison. Welcome, travelers, to Lake Thalasso. There's no need to be afraid.
And who in...
Usually, when people say that, you need to be afraid. I say as I'm like trying to like I imagine like her arms are like around his waist, you know, just like
Yeah.
trying to pull him
Do
away.
elves believe in an afterlife?
Yes, absolutely.
What's their hell called?
In the culture you grew up in, your hell is Hades.
Does Hades have like subdivisions?
Yeah, Tartarus would be the worst.
Is it like layers?
Sort of. There's 3, and just Tartarus is the bad one, because I'm assuming you're asking for the bad one.
No, I'm asking, like, do they call it layers or levels or planes?
Yeah, planes would probably be the most accurate.
And there's 3 of them?
Yes.
Who in the 3 planes of Hades are you?
Do I see this person? Do I see like do I see anything? Because this thing is like active for like an hour. So.
Yeah. What's the range on it?
120.
120 feet.
Okay. Yes. However, interestingly, you don't see a soul. What you see is a tentacle, watery and inky, like the one you had seen gripping Paul's palm. And where the body moves, it's like the tentacle rising from the waters nearby just sways and swishes around, as if it's an extension of the lake rather than its own unique being.
Azar is just gonna be like, don't trust it.
I'm guessing you're eat.
Yes. Yes, that is what they call me.
Hmm.
I'm wise enough to know that attempting deception on those who are knowledgeable is a losing proposition. But I assume those who come here with a wise fear of me have a reason for being here. And I would be an ill-gracious host to ignore the needs of the guests in my domain.
What was our reason for being here again?
Artifact.
Well,
Is the artifact in the lake?
Yeah, the compass directed you to the lake, but then just stopped.
What
Like,
is
it
the
wouldn't give you
artifact?
any more. The spell Twin Wands.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. But
Vaven's gonna be like, we heard there's apparently a fancy wand out here.
it's a set of wands. There's two of them.
You seek the treasure I have been instructed to protect.
Yes, but why would you protect it when it was them who put you here? So why keep protecting it?
Why
Out
would
of
they
curiosity.
even trust you with it if apparently you already betrayed them once?
To say that any deity trusts another is a amusing proposition. This
Well,
is
they
not
let
an
you have
act
the-
of trust. I have been instructed to guard a treasure that I cannot possess. I cannot make use of. I am its guardian, but I do not hold it. Only someone who demonstrates principles that oppose my own are able to hold the wands in their hands.
Okay, can I
Which
do a
god
check?
was
What kind of
again?
Is that why you're so lenient to our friend here? She just kind of points to Paul.
And real quick before Eat answers, Avaven, what were you saying?
Which god owns these wands again?
Annie actually didn't tell you. Said that the research on that was a little bit inconclusive.
And I was also trying to figure out what was it they said? Someone who's got the opposite of whatever they have. I can't remember the word that you just used.
Basically, you have to demonstrate the opposite value of what Eat is to be able to get the wands.
So
Someone who
basically, you
thinks
just
like Eat couldn't get them.
So you basically need to not be greedy and eat everything around you.
More someone who could show restraints.
While you can't see the creature, Asari, with your true sight seeing through the barrier, you're able to see the tentacles sway in your direction, and I do not show lenience. I simply show the same deference I show to the entities that trapped me here. I am wise enough to not aggravate my jailers, just as I'm wise enough to not pick fights with those I depend on. Do you wish to access the spell Twin Wands?
Well, we kind of have to.
What's the catch?
You picked a good time. The moon is out, and it shines brightly tonight. Tell me, Dr. Asari-ku, have you heard of the world behind the mirrors?
Okay, Amanda finds it vaguely familiar, but I'm sure sorry. Do I need to make a check?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Make an Arcana check.
Okay,
Sure, Vaben has seen a mirror
I'm good at
before, right?
that. I'm
Yeah, of course. And even if you hadn't, you've seen your reflection in, like, water and stuff.
Well, I'm gonna take a wild guess, and is it a mirrored world?
That's
In
what
a
I'm thinking.
sense.
27, Matthew.
Asari, you're indeed familiar with the mirror world. In the planar cosmology, there is a sort of idea that there are opposites to every world. For every law, there must be chaos. For every fire, there must be water. For every fear, there must be courage. And for every world, there must be an opposite to it. However, interestingly, you would know that the mirror world is not truly the material plane's opposite. It is simply a reflection of it. You've heard legends, mages that study it, that say, in the right conditions, if you cast the right spells or pick the right places at the right times, a body of water, a mirror, even a piece of glass, anything that reflects can become a gateway into another world. We see it every day. When you touch your reflection is touching you back.
My eyes are gonna go to the lake.
You recall that when
back
Paul
to-
stood over it, reflected in its waters, you saw a soul reflected on the other side.
I'm gonna look back at the entity. Yeah, I do know about it. What is it that you're wanting? Do you want us to go there for you?
Your dark elf companion is correct. The world of mirrors is where you must go. That is why the compass could not lead you to the wands. The compass cannot tell you where on another plane something is unless you are there. But it could lead you to the gateway.
Couldn't
Your
any
water,
reflective surface have worked? Why this lake specifically?
Because
I've got some theories.
if you find your way in, I am your only way back out.
Yet not entirely comfortable with that idea.
Well, then I'm afraid our negotiations have come to an end. However, Mr. Whitefeather, it was a pleasure to see you again, and your memories shall sustain me for a good long while.
Wait.
My eyes narrow.
Why exactly do we need you? Couldn't we just repeat the same process that got us in?
The process that got you in is unpredictable. After all, if you had the ability to go to another plane at will, you would have done it the moment you figured out where your destination was.
To be honest, we didn't know we needed to go to another
Give me a
plane.
couple months. Yeah.
We just thought they threw it in your lake or something and bet that nobody would try to get it.
Yeah, that too.
They are wise enough not to trust me with such power.
Well, I mean, I'm sure a god could have come up with some way to stop you from grabbing it. You know, like how like some of those creatures in that one continent can't touch symbols.
Very true.
Even if we do agree to work with you, what kind of guarantee can you give us that you're not going to just, attack us when we have the wand?
In
Or
truth, you
try
have
to
no
turn us
guarantee.
or try to turn us into one of your minions.
Or take our memories, or, feed on us like you've done our friend here?
If I had fed on your companion, they would be speaking for me. We both gain something out of mutual cooperation. While the power of the wands is tempting, I gain very little from the material power of the spell twin wands. But what is far more valuable to me is information.
The knowledge to break your curse.
Indeed. You are all very well traveled, very intelligent, albeit in untraditional ways. Perhaps one of you holds the key to breaking my curse, and for that knowledge I would happily sacrifice the spell twin wands. They may have prevented me from accessing what they hid in my reflection, but they will never prevent me from searching. As long as I can think, I can outsmart them.
Do you actually remember anything from before you were cursed?
I remember everything. I was once a great deity of wisdom. I held all of the knowledge that all living beings possessed.
And then you chose the wrong side in a war. Not a very wise move.
The gods were spoiled. The world was perfect. They wanted to ruin what we had built.
So is it a curse, or is it like just magic binding you here?
The only thing binding me here is the lack of water. If I had a path to the ocean, I would consume this planet in search of answers. No, what binds me is my hunger.
Yeah, and that's why none of the rivers will lead here, and why you get trapped here.
Would you be okay if I try to dispel whatever's on you?
I can also try.
I doubt even the three of us combined could be strong enough to dispel whatever magic was cast on them.
Matthew.
What's up?
I'm sorry. Jesus, stop yelling at me. Would I? Because Amanda doesn't know this, but I'm pretty sure that Asari would with her, shit. I had the spell Banishment. Would I think that maybe that would work?
How are you expecting that to help?
Well, I mean, it will banish you to, another plane, so, maybe it will, send... Because it's supposed to send them to, where they're from.
Yes.
Or just a different plane,
It only lasts for a short period.
No, they're there.
Well, they're there, but they come back unless something prevents them coming back.
Let me... Oh, probably. See, I was under the impression...
The spellcraft of mortals can grant me temporary relief, but it cannot fix what is beyond saving.
I was gonna say, we're talking about a spell that apparently all the gods collaborated on, versus dispelling the magic of one item temporarily. Yeah, it's quite a jump.
Okay.
What if we can remove the curse?
If you could remove my curse, Mr. Whitefeather, I would see empires fall for you.
You have the question that this ancient being has been asking since before our existence.
Well, more or less, what are your plans after I remove the curse? If I somehow have that power.
Yeah, it wouldn't do to have you burn down the heavens.
I cannot lie to one who has seen my mind. I would drown the very gods in my waters. I would see them all become campers. The heavens would bow to me as they once did, and I would rebuild our old empire, a new golden age of the Titans ruling over this world, as it was meant to be.
Yeah, where does that leave the rest of us?
At peace, immortal.
Oh. So you would only go after the holy lands.
Indeed, my quarrel is not with mortals. In fact, I have staked my continued existence as I starve for a scrap of food to satiate my hunger. Mortals are who answer me. Mortals are who answer my prayers, not the gods.
Yeah, what happens to all the mortals who you basically mind control? Do they get rewarded? Do they get to continue to serve you against their possible will?
They are all rewarded even as we speak. As I said, our exchange goes both ways. Even this man, who I'm speaking to you with now, he was once simply a thief, a beggar, traveling in the Doppelganger countryside. He came to my waters, and in desperation, wounded from an attack, he drank. And I used the knowledge of generations of doctors to save his life. This man would be dead if it wasn't for me. And in exchange, I see his mind, his body. We are one. Once all things were me. Indeed, even you, all of you, have a piece of me inside you. I am the only being to be known. Everything in this world, everything in every world, has a little piece of me. Always growing, evolving, progressing, and flourishing.
Water? I know all living things have water in them, and you seem to really like water.
Water was once my domain, before my curse.
So I'm guessing the Poseidons of the world just wanted you out of the way.
They didn't like that I wouldn't bow to them. Why would I? I am everything. The universe will not bow to petty children.
Yeah, well,
Our
this
leaders were
universe seems to have
wise.
gotten quite small.
I will not ask you to drink my waters, and nor will I beckon you to return to me. If you wish to know my honesty, simply look to your friend. My ink stains his body, but only as a reminder that he has been here. A reminder that he's different.
So, let me see if I understand this correctly. You will allow us access to the wands if we drink from the water, and allow you to access memories that could possibly help you.
You need not drink.
Yeah, just said
You simply must swim and offer your minds to me. If you are within my waters, I can access them freely if they are offered to me.
And in return, you let us go to the mirror world and come back without being attacked.
Indeed. And when you return to your native plane, I will return the memories you gave me to you. By that time, I will have looked over them in detail and determined if they are of any use to me.
What about my memory?
As I said, they will be returned to you when you return to your native plane.
Well, at this
What, are you
point,
just gonna, like,
we're just dancing in circles, so Greylog is going to how deep does water look?
It looks fairly deep.
So pretty much
Wade.
he's going to use his last wild shape, fly up into the air, and then go back into his normal form and swan dive into the water.
Hold on. Before you do that, so what, are you just gonna transcribe our memories like a copy?
Less a copy, more, I will determine if they are useful, and if they are not, then they will be returned on your return to a native plane.
So
And
you're
if
saying we won't
they
have
are-
any of our memory whenever we get sent there?
You will not have whatever you offered to me. Think of it as insurance that you will not betray me, and insurance that I will not betray you.
And if our memories do serve you purpose, what happens then?
As I said, you will be rewarded beyond your wildest dreams. You've seen what the gods can do for mortals when they earn their favor. Imagine what a titan can do.
Could I insight her?
Roll insight.
And I will still go into the water. Because at this point, he's done going around in circles. We have they've promised us one thing, so he will go by that. Because if anything, a god is a person of their word, especially a titan at that.
Aren't there like countless cases of gods lying?
21 for insight.
Wasn't that Loki's whole shtick?
Yep. As Greylog uses his wild shape to take to the sky in preparation for a dramatic swan dive, Asari, you, still with your true sight active, stare in contemplation at this fingertip of the creature you're talking to.
Were there any specific memories you wanted from us?
The spell Twin Wand is an item of great value, so I would expect something of great value in return. Nothing so damaging that you cannot survive, but something that you would be remiss without. What memory would you say is most important to you without compromising your survival were it to be lost? You could live without it, but only as a shell of what you are.
Yeah, Raven's like... I don't know if I can go along with this, guys.
Yeah. So what? I'd like to know the result of my insight before I make the choice.
They seem like they're being forthright. Granted, they're being a little vague on what exactly the reward will be, but they do seem to be very sincere that they believe the gods to be selfish. that the Titans were
Mhm.
better rulers than they were. And in return for a cure to their curse that your memories could theoretically provide them, they will essentially return the world to a golden age where, if the stories you've heard of that age were to be believed, people were immortal, they never worked, they never battled, everything down to the soul was perfect. And that is the world Eat offers you, if you can save them.
I'm going to look at Ivaben. I mean, I'm the first to be very hesitant about this, no offense, creature into my head. Not a fan. But, I mean, we've come so far.
Look, if that item's in another world, no one's getting it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd say it's pretty safe.
there are other items that could be used for the door. So if we get this item and use it for the door, then, you know, less chance of people getting in.
I don't even want to open that door. I want to make sure it doesn't get opened.
Well, even still, if we have the item, there's, and Eat is literally willing to work probably with anyone that has information for them. So I just, even though I'm not a huge fan of it, it's a small price to pay, I guess.
Maybe for you it's a small price.
My memories and my knowledge is very important to me.
Look, if they told me I could give up, like, the memories of the shit that happened to me early on, that would be one thing. But from the sounds of it, they want an actually good memory. And I don't have many of those to be giving out.
I understand. Well, not really, but
Then
I understand the sentiment.
I will watch over you until your companions return.
Are you willing to stay here then?
I guess I don't have a choice. I'm just not comfortable letting this thing have hold of my memories.
I understand.
All for some promise that we don't know if it even is going to keep. Some promise of some golden age that is told in fairy tales. Yeah, the last person that promised fairy tales didn't turn out very well in our area.
Paul, what are you doing?
Well, while they're talking, I guess Paul's gonna start strutting to the lake.
Okay.
I guess if they've been staying.
Okay.
Here, you guys should take this in case you need it. And it's gonna offer them the forge cast pistol.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I don't know how to use this, but you just point and shoot, right?
Doesn't one of them use like ranged weapons a lot?
Flower and
Actually,
Fall do, but none of the current party.
Well, Flower and
besides
Fall
you.
is technically still here.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can give it. Yeah, you can give it to the twins if you want.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
assume Matthew will just control them in battles,
Okay.
Possibly.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
If I run into
Maybe.
any trouble, my bow should be more than sufficient.
You're gonna be alright all by yourself.
I've spent a lot of time by myself.
That doesn't
spent a
make it
whole-
less okay.
I spent a whole year by myself trying to prove myself to my people.
That's not answering my question.
Look, if I could spend a whole year by myself, I think I can spend a couple weeks by
Do you want
myself.
to? Do you want to stay here, or do you want to go ahead and go to Shadow Lily, and we can meet you there?
What did we need to go there for?
Well, nothing really. I mean, it's on our way back, so it would just give you a safe place to stay while we're away.
Very well.
All right.
So he's gonna take a deep, deep, deep breath and look to this entity. Your word better be good. And I will start walking into the lake.
With a splash, Greylog falls with a swan dive into the inky waters. Paul, ahead of the others, you wade, eventually are forced to swim before plunging into the depths. And Asari, a bit clumsily, you follow behind. And as Asari's head goes under the water, Avaven, you are left alone. You hear the voice speak again. I can guide you on a safe path out of the forest. The bandits will not trouble you. They are wise enough to respect me.
Yeah, I'm guessing I'm guessing they usually run whenever they start seeing the animals that don't run away.
Or whenever they see the blue.
Very well. Guess I will check back here every so often.
You are more than welcome. And if you change your mind, my waters are open to you.
Don't bet on it.
And with that, you start working your way away from the lake and back towards the city. Greylog. As you plunge into the water, you can feel the coolness of the water around you, but you're not getting wet. Your clothes remain dry, even though they flow as if underwater. And you see movement as the water starts to swirl around you, and you feel a pressure on your head as, to you, a new voice, the feminine one Paul was hearing, speaks. Greylog Orchin, oath sworn to Lady Hela of Death, druid, Midgardian native, changeling, contracted. What memory do you offer to me for passage to the other world?
One of the most valuable ones I have. My memories of Lady Hela. That way, if I don't get those back, well, you see my thoughts in my mind. You'll know what'll happen.
An interesting offer. For my reference, like DM to player, are you being honest?
Yes. Those are the memories he's offering.
No, I mean, like, are you being honest that Greylog considers those his most valuable ones?
Well, considering the fact that those are the ones that will be able to keep him alive later on,
Okay.
that's what he would consider to be his most valuable at the moment.
No, fair. Like I said, just, it's one of those, like, DM to player, I need to know if you're lying, so I need to know if, like, there's any insight checks to be made and stuff.
Nope, he's being very honest for once. Part of what his deal was with Hela was honesty for one.
Okay. You feel a pressure against your mouth. Very well. All of your memories of Lady Hela and your debt to her. Open your mouth.
I will do as requested.
Sorry. Dr. Asari Ku, Britannian college graduate, loyalist to your kingdom, child of dragons, sorcerer. What memories do you offer to me for passage?
Going to be quite honest with you, I have a lot of memories that are very important to me. Which ones would you prefer?
Are you giving me the choice?
Yes.
Very well. Open your mouth, Dr. Ku. Let me in.
She just kind of like, she hesitates for just a second, and then she does so. It's more of a, it's just like, if she's like trying to like gauge like why she's reacting that way, it's more of, that's an odd request kind of thing.
Paul. Paul Whitefeather Ardabat. Well, you don't remember much of what you are. Do you wish to find out?
I do.
You feel, unlike the other two, which had a more firm grasp of water on their lips, you feel an almost tender one. Open your mouth and let me in.
Okay.
I shall return to you what was lost. But understand, Paul, if you attempt to return to me, I will take back what is mine.
Yeah, I had a feeling this was happening. As Paul will kind of close his eyes and slowly open his mouth.
As you all, swimming down to the bottom of the lake, one by one open your mouths, you feel yourselves begin to drown as water forces its way down your throats, into your lungs, into your heads. You feel your heads pound as water swirls in your skulls, as heat touches every nerve and wrinkle of your gray matter, searching and searching and searching for answers. Anything to put even a temporary pause to its painful starvation. And as you all become one with this entity, joining the hive mind, you all get glimpses of other people's lives. You see Tibadrins that eat controls, just living their lives among their own people, completely oblivious. You see children who went for a swim and their parents don't know what's wrong with them, but the child keeps returning to the lake. You see couples living lives not knowing that one of their own is a camper. Those who find out sometimes join them in an attempt to become one with them. Your heads pound, and you all get glimpses of each other's lives as each searches and searches and searches. As you all become one with the hive mind, the connection goes both ways. Paul and Asari, you see the visions Greylog had when he died of Lady Hela offering him the chance to stay dead or live in her service forever. Paul, Greylog, you see visions of Asari's discovery of her sorceress origins, the abilities that she possessed that only furthered her desire to study magic and history.
Oof.
And Paul, you begin to remember who you are. As you all become one with E, you get this sense of vertigo. Just as you're all beginning to black out from drowning, all at once the water begins to recede, and you hear Eat's voice one final time. The payment is fair. You feel water begin to come out of you. But as you open your eyes and struggle, you feel yourself being able to breathe. The water is no longer black. It's green now. And Greylog, sorry, Paul, as you crane your necks, you see what was once the bottom of the lake is now the surface of a new one. Green waters rather than black.
I swim for it.
Yeah.
You all swim to the surface and breach. Greylog, you do not remember Lady Hela. In fact, you remember nothing. You died, and there was nothing. You came back, to be sure, but that was due to the effort of the plundered doctors and your companions. Nothing more. So, as of now, you have never interacted with a god in person. Asari, you gave Eat free access to your brain, unrestricted, the ability to choose whatever they wanted to take from you as payment. And they settled on your knowledge of magic.
Sigh.
You proclaimed in front of them that you thought your magic might have answers, even temporary ones. And Eat wasn't about to let an opportunity like that slip by.
Mm-hmm.
As of now, you are no longer a sorcerer.
Oh. That's
Paul,
interesting.
you begin to remember. I will let you as the player decide. Do you wish to find out who you are now? Or let it come to you over time?
Yes, now. I mean, because he wants his, he likes his, wanting his memories back, kind of.
Okay. All of you got glimpses. As memories were taken from you, they were restored to Paul. So you all got glimpses of who Paul is. Paul, you were the eldest son of House Artabat, one of the principal kingdoms in the land of Vey. House Artabat was primarily known for their generosity, their willingness to give anyone anything, and always take care of others. Your master and adoptive father was Lanterna Artabat, the king. You had a brother, Belak. You had another sibling, Remus. And you had another brother who I suspect you know who he is already. You were found on the doorstep of the Artibation king, alone as a baby, but clutching a single white feather. They took you in and raised you as a son. You were raised alongside your only blood-related sibling, and you were taken care of, but you always felt like you owed them. So you served. You considered yourself a servant first and a child second. Eventually, after his parents were killed raiding a foreign kingdom, Balak was adopted into the family. Around the same time, Rhaphis was taken in under mysterious circumstances. The king never discussed it in front of you. Your siblings were all very close, very emotionally connected, and they treated you as one of them, despite you never seeing yourself as such. Until one day, the king fell ill. And seeking answers, you went to the lake, which was said to contain a great deity of wisdom, Ti, who promised you answers and possibly the ability to save your father. But in exchange, you had to give up memories. And you gave up the memory of the very family you were trying to save, knowing that instinct and service would eventually see you back to them. And here you are. You don't know much about how you got there or what's happened over the past couple years, but you remember who you are. You remember what was lost to you.
So, I would do I remember this since we are accessing his memories while we're under the water too?
Yes. While you guys' memories were lost to you, Paul's were gained. So, yes, all of you got glimpses of Paul's life, raised by the most generous spirits in Vey, a world that isn't yours.
So I want to
Paul-
memorize them all that I can remember. All the ones I
I
can
will
remember.
let you attempt.
Yeah, he's gonna write as much as he can down to help him remember, but he's gonna try to do as much as he can, so that when we do go back, if he goes with us, he'll have some way to remember, in a sense.
I'm not sure that's
Okay.
not how it works, but
Well, I mean, I get his idea. He's just gonna have written information. Well, I won't have memories of it. I'll at least be told of it, kind of deal.
Yeah, you can effectively regain them that way.
Exactly.
Okay. Greylog, as soon as you breach the surface of the water, you immediately start scrambling for a notebook to start writing things down, attempting to scribble as much as you can remember onto the notebook. You all breach the surface of the water, and in the distance, you see Greylog's plant barricade, and parked just outside of it, the humanoid figure in orange. Everything looks the same as the place you just left. But much like Paul, this world is a reflection. Asari, as you breach the surface of the water, looking around, you notice everything looks the same, but everything has a kind of weird green tint to it. And looking up, it's daylight now. It was moonlight when you left.
Asari's just gonna crawl to the shore and just assume the fetal position.
Asari, as you crawl to the shore, Greylog just scribbling as fast as you can. Paul, what are you doing?
Paul's going to, once he kind of like reaches the shore, gonna look at himself and now he's gonna kind of think about what he's now capable of as he wasn't before, and would I be, well, I don't know if I have, how much knowledge do I have of this sickness?
The sickness that was affecting your father?
Yes.
Make a medicine check.
Ooh, 4, 5.
You just remember that he came down with a terrible cough, and your mother and sibling would not let you see him. They were worried about it spreading, and they wanted to do what they could to treat him. While you were possessed of healing magic, they weren't sure if your magic would help him, and they didn't want to risk you getting sick.
Okay, question.
Answer.
Since Paul is a paladin,
Yes.
is he still a paladin? Since
Yeah.
this is the opposite world? Like mirror
No, no.
world?
No, he
Opposite world?
basically what you've discovered is that Paul was a reflection of the person who actually existed in your world, who switched places with his counterpart.
Okay.
So just to get this right, I have like zero memory of like magic and shit, right?
Yeah, basically, your stats and stuff are unaffected, but yeah, you can no longer cast spells. All knowledge of how to do that has been taken away from you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of be in like the fetal position and just get really sad.
Asari, as you curl in on yourself,
I can
Greylock,
be sad and not remember.
you start madly scrawling, and
It's
Paul, you just
literally
reflect.
Depression.
You all see.
It's literal depression. I'm sad. Why?
You all see a figure come out of the forest. A dark elf. Red eyes, 6 foot tall, white hair, gray skin.
Oh.
He looks very familiar. It's a Vaben, but his skin is tinted an odd greenish tone. Almost like a photograph that is moving before you. And he kind of looks over all of you in confusion. And, well, that didn't take long.
This raises questions about what's going on the other end.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do I understand what's going on? Since
I'm going to leave that up to you.
Okay. What do you remember last?
I mean,
As he points
he's
at
asking,
either end.
he's asking.
no, yeah, like I was giving his response. Let me see. We talked with T. You all said they seemed trustworthy, and I agreed with you. And you all went down to get the untwin wand, and you came right back about, and he kind of like looks up at the sun. I'd say it's been about 30 seconds. Was it really just at the bottom of the lake?
Wait. You.
Oh. Okay, so interesting thing happened. It seems that because this is a parallel world, more or less, We're from the other one. Your friends went there, and we went here.
Oh, well, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. So they are looking for the one as well, and so are we. So what is going on? If y'all are looking for it, we came here, and they're looking for it, so they went there. Where is it?
I thought that's what you guys were going to figure out.
Is the guy
Oh.
is the guy in the orange still there?
Yes.
I'm gonna look at them. I'm guessing here it's T. Is it?
Indeed.
So, I'm guessing you got what you wanted from us since we're here. No idea what it was. Where's the wands?
A deal is a deal. It was entrusted to the Tibadran Regent. It lies in the castle in Rosewick. Or, as it's known here. And they look off into the forest a bit towards the north. And while they're looking, Avaben's doppelganger kind of looks over you guys curiously. And, oh, wait. Before we do that, it's very important. Introductions. I suppose I technically don't know you guys. And he holds out a hand to all of you. Nabavi.
This is really strange. You're much nicer than ours.
Well, it is
I'll take his hand. Even though I'm like kind of like on the ground, I'll just like reach out. That sounded cool.
Sorry. That's actually pretty close to the one I know, so that'll be easy to remember. And you're a doctor! That's super cool!
Yeah, yeah, you can just call me doctor if you want, or you can just call me sorry, whatever. Not picky.
And, okay, if your name's Asari, then your names must be... And he kind of thinks for a second. Paul and Greylog. Is that right? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, I'm guessing.
Sounds so
okay,
weird.
So how do you pronounce my name here? Like, what would it be?
Golurg.
You know, actually, I think I might like that one better. Like.
I'm gonna go by Golard now.
I gotta go fucking lay down. I'm having, like, yeah.
But,
You have a trend of changing your name at each campaign.
But, I don't know what's different, so just in case, there's any confusion, like I said, I'm Nabavi Altagwa. We first met going after, it was, some anti-armor, on one of the continents. You guys saved me from some zombies, so I decided to start helping you.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. It was the same at our place.
Honestly, I'm gonna go with, sorry, wouldn't really remember that, because, like, magic shit.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just gonna be like, yeah, don't really remember that. All I remember is that our guy, Avaden, is kind of rude, hates me because of Tonyan.
Why would he hate you because you're Bretonnian? Bretonnians are very pleasant.
I know!
Well, our equivalent to them anyway. Again, it sounds a little weird hearing how you say it, but he kind of gives you a polite smile.
Not gonna lie, this is a bit strange for me. Like I said, Avaden is not exactly as pleasant as you are.
He's not that bad.
Damn. Jeez.
Yes, and you start fights with people that you can't beat for no reason other than the fact that they just don't like you.
That's the point.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Don't forget, sorry, I'm gonna just call you Ibaben. It's what we're used to, and I cannot pronounce your equivalent here.
Yeah, your words sound a little strange on my mouth too. Well, if you want, I can help you go after this. You said you were after a wand too.
That's correct. Though I could have sworn that it was a set of wands.
I'm assuming.
So I'm guessing that there's one in this world in the Tibadran area, and then one in our world in the Tibadran area.
Oh,
Would I be
maybe.
right? As he looks at Eat.
T kind of tilts their head to the side and gives a smile. Perhaps.
Interesting, interesting. No, they just said that they would help us get the wand, and technically they're helping us get both in a roundabout way.
Well,
Would be
I-
helpful.
do you guys mind if I come with you? I'm a terrible shot, to be frank with you, and not a very good fighter. But I'm really good with people.
This is really strange for
Yep.
me. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm feeling a little bit weak, so maybe can we take a rest while I figure my shit out?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. I'll help you.
She just kind of there's this absolute strange look on her face, this is gonna be really weird.
Okay, is there a cart here, like previously?
Yes, the only difference is that it's tinted green.
And I'm guessing that like before, there's nothing pulling it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's head. Wait. Did my wild shape reset yet? Or technically, I would still have used them both because now it's daytime, but...
It goes by your time, not mine.
Okay,
Besides, Dr. Who said they're tired. You guys should probably get some rest before we go any further. We can take our time. It's all right. We got here first, and those guys said that they were going to leave us alone, so it's not like we have to worry too much about competing with anyone.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Greg, I would really like some. I'm very.
Oh, yeah.
Weak. Why?
I'll help us set up camp.
Yeah, I made this nice little clearing, so seems good spot to go.
Gonna go sit Did he just did he cut out for you?
He did, but
Yeah.
he was trying to say my name, but I was wondering if you know anything about guessing it's Tabaja backwards, right?
Yes, Artabat.
Artabat. Yeah, that's what it sounds
I've been sitting on this since session 1 of this fucking campaign.
like the reverse form. I was like,
Yeah, I've been sitting on this fucking twist for 3 years!
Wow, 3 years that you've been sitting on this.
But yeah, 'cause we stopped playing for like 2.
Yeah, no, to give you an idea, Austin had forgotten the backstory he submitted to me in the time it took us to get to it.
I did not submit this backstory.
We've discussed this. I promise you did.
Not
'Cause
this personal.
I didn't come up with it.
I didn't come up with this part of this.
Well, no, yes, I just mean like the thing and like
I remember there was the idea of like a white dragon because he had that old class that at the end of it allowed him to cast a white dragon. There was a white dragon involved, but then that no longer became a thing. Anyway, so could you inform me about the status of that?
Well, I just got here, so I'm not exactly in. But, let me see. I think I remember you how the Artabaceans are really generous, give stuff away to people here in the forest so that people don't try to steal their stuff.
We cut out near there about something about stealing stuff.
Oh yeah, they live out in the forest so that people don't try to just steal from them, but they are willing to just give things away to people who ask. They're known to be really generous and kind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're from the thieves.
Well, you all take your time to recover. I'll set up camp for us. And he gives you all a very kind smile and starts rummaging around to set up camp. And yeah, you all recognize your camp supplies just green tinted.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of turn to Greylog. This is weird, right?
A little bit, but it's kind of nice.
Everything.
She was like this all the time. He's so nice.
I was more talking about, this new world, not the whole, one person aspects.
Well,
So
I would
a
like-
lot of things that's different.
I would like to get home as fast as I can. If I want to sit in the cart and rest, I could pull it.
Oh yeah, you do have your elk, don't you?
I guess Paul will cast his familiar or his steed.
Well, all right. I'm not going to stop you. Here. I'm not the best with medicine, doctor, but I can make sure you get some rest and treatment for whatever's bothering you on the way. I'm terrible at navigating anyway, so I'd be useless sitting at the front seat.
It's hard to describe. It's like I'm missing something, but I'm not sure what to do.
Yeah, because she could heal herself. She is a magic user after all.
Really?
Wait. Oh, that's what they took from you.
What the fuck are you talking about, Greg? Sorry. Sorry. What are you talking about?
You're a sorcerer, technically, but I'm guessing you've forgotten all that because they're using your memories.
Sorcerer.
We had an agreement. The memories shall be returned whenever you wish to journey back to the other side.
Well, this will be interesting, but it's okay, sorry. Just go to sleep.
I barely heard you. I don't know what you said.
She's saying she's got to go. Her Asari's gonna go lay down because it's a bit much.
Okay. Paul, with this strange reflected dark elf's help, you begin to hitch your elk up to the cart, eager to get back to your true home. No longer are you a stranger in a world without you. This is your home world. Your home.
I saw that coming.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you said that
Okay.
he gained memories, it's like, yep, he's from a different world.
I have a question. So,
What's up?
if I'm not a sorcerer, what the fuck am I?
You're just a normal human.
You're a
assuming.
commoner.
Yeah, you're just an archaeologist.
Yeah. You probably have the same health wise. Just
Yeah, like I said, your stats are unaffected, but yeah, you can no longer cast spells.
Welcome to my world from the tournaments. You have weapons.
I do? I do. I never do.
Yeah.
Well, you will now.
My fucking cultist staff? Yeah.
It's like, what? I have what?
Yeah, no, I have weapons? What? That's news to me.
Casters don't use weapons very often.
I also have a shovel, so I can use that.
Improvise weapon.
Hey, your shovel and my bucket.
So
We're
where?
set.
You'll build castles together.
Shovel is a weapon. Matthew, will you let me do that? Matthew. I can't hear you, honey.
Sorry, and it'll be improvised, but I will allow it.
It's fine. It's fine. I can't fucking do magic anyway, so let's go with it. I'm gonna bring out my shovel.
Like an actual weapon, unless you got rid of it.
Yeah, no, I have a quarterstaff. I just really like the idea of using my shovel as a weapon.
Okay. Avabin, as you
Cut out.
Yeah, you keep cutting out Matthew. Like, there's nothing on your end.
God died. Rip Matthew. Ow.
Like,
Gee, I hope he's okay.
just this internet.
Yeah, his internet went out.
Yeah,
You should just give him a second. Yeah, this whole like mirror world is like very entertaining. Like all in favor of just spending like session after session after session here. Like this is real interesting.
The only thing that's gonna be like, it's kind of like the problem is, it's gonna be two sessions going on at the same time.
Yeah. Why he couldn't just, give up a memory. I don't understand, but I get it. Like I get it, but also, well, like you're gonna get it back.
Possibly.
Well, if Asari doesn't get her magic back, well, she might as well remake character because, well, that's most of what she is.
I know.
Well, that knowledge and magic.
I know, but I mean, first off, it's a person by person basis. If Asari can't do anything with this magic, then if the knowledge of her magic doesn't benefit him, then there's nothing to it. But if Aben something Vaven had that would, serve a purpose would, then he would have kept it or something.
He would have burned a copy. Like, okay, we're good. I got my copy, you got your copy, we're all good.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing that I'm worried about is, like, combat.
By the sounds of it, we're in a friendly area. I mean...
Yeah, they're just gonna... all we had to do is go to the patrons and ask them to give us the wand, and they'll just give it to us because they're so friendly.
So fucking... whatever the fuck their backwards ass name is. Jeez.
Yeah, they just give stuff away, so it's like we're good to go. Now our counterparts are going to have a whole lot of trouble.
That's the interesting part. I mean, technically, if both sides of the story grab the twin staff and go to the portal with it, it's just the same thing. It literally would be nothing different. Nothing's changed. Both parts will have one side.
Which is what's got me so curious about how this is supposed to work.
I mean, technically...
Ooh, I also have a mining pit.
What?
And a crowbar.
Oh, yeah, I should look at your eyes like, whoa, I have stuff.
Yeah, no, I have stuff. What?
But because based off the description, it was that if one magic, whatever magic shoots out of one wand shoots out the other side. So if someone's holding the wand, suddenly the other side's going to... actually... Because it makes it... I mean, if one person shoots at one wand, suddenly your wand's going to shoot magic out. Cause...
So if we put... So technically, if we put one wand into the door, then the other door, like the other one, would be filled in as well. So technically, it could work.
I mean...
Because, like, if the door... Like, if we insert the wand, as requested, into the one keyhole, and our counterparts do the same in their world...
Which, I mean, they've done, yeah.
Then it should technically work.
Oh yeah. Correct.
This is all very interesting.
It's the interesting part is the fact that we need the other counterpart of the wand. Or do we need
I guess
both wands?
Well, it's just there's no way for us to actually physically get both. Unless E were to physically get a hold of one of them and take it to us directly. But in that exactly. So it's like, I think he just more or less tricked us into giving him information without telling us the whole truth. Because otherwise, we could have just walked away and gotten the wand from Tebedra and been just fine.
Possibly. Maybe the counterparts, or maybe the wands got swapped. So we need the actual wand that goes to our universe, or our world, or some shit. I don't know.
You know what? That actually makes sense. Like it doesn't function properly in this one because it's not where it's from.
Or either that, or it doesn't function properly, or it's just opposite wand. But because if we need both of them, we would have to try to trick both sides. Like If we all went, it would have just been there'd be nothing to stop them from. Well, I guess Doppelganger being assholes would stop them. I don't know.
Exactly. Because they wouldn't expect the whole Doppelganger being assholes, because that's not what they're used to. They're used to them being friendly. Well, at least that's what they were told.
Yeah, but you could same for us, but it's harder to deal with assholes than friendly people.
It is.
But maybe for them, they can deal with assholes better.
Maybe.
It sounds like Ivan will find out.
Man, this is going to get real interesting.
Also, it sounded like they were about to go back to Ivan. I don't know if you're there, Ivan.
Yeah, hopefully Greylog can write down enough information for Paul. Like, he's going to spend most of his downtime at the moment while we're traveling throughout the day writing stuff down for him.
I will fully admit to you. Nothing, never mind. We'll see how things play out.
Oh, so pretty much you're thinking that Paul will stay there and Lout will go back.
What?
Oh, I was going to say, are you thinking that maybe Paul's going to stay in his correct world? Or what are you thinking?
We'll see. We'll see how things play out.
Okay.
So, it's story stuff.
Oh my goodness, that would explain why Paul helps everyone so often and why they do so much, like back on the ship.
Yeah.
Because that's what's expected from where he was at. Everyone just thinks he's nice, but actually it's just because he's from a different world.
I mean, he is just nice. It's just that he's also from another world as well. Everyone thinks he's nice. Like, I mean, he is nice. It's just also the fact that he's from a mirrorverse, from where everybody's nice where he's from, and there's no gooey monsters, possibly, hopefully.
I don't know. Your dad's coughing, so I don't know. It wants one hell of a cold.
It's coughing up green, I'm assuming.
Oh, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
And instead of black blood, it's green blood. I've noticed that like a lot of it's a shade of green, like green. I always thought white.
That would be interesting.
The black blood is white blood.
Makes me wonder how many mirror worlds are there? Could we, like, in theory, could we go to a different one and it's purple blood or something like that?
I mean, I would assume there's one mirrorverse, but that's the concept of the multiverse at that point. You might as well just call it the multiverse less than a mirrorverse.
Well, it's just the fact that they said that it could not, in theory, work properly the same way that we went in. So would that then mean that there's more than one mirrorverse?
I return. I'm so sorry about that. My internet literally just completely went out, so I needed to reset the modem.
Yeah, no worries. We've just been having interesting conversations.
Theorizing.
Yeah. Okay. Are we good to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, we will pick up where we left off. Avaben. As you step out and get a look at the figure that Eat has taken the body of, you see that their form is somewhat hunched, skinny, and malnourished almost. And their body, much like the stories you've heard, is seemingly perpetually soaking wet. And you notice you couldn't see it beneath their hood when they were first crossing the lake. Their hair is a light tinted blue. As are their eyes as they turn to look at you, and their lips, despite their incredibly hydrated state, have the kind of chapped and dry look to them, as if they haven't had a good bit of water in a while. But the skinny human gives you a nod and gestures towards the forest for you to accompany them. But as you turn and prepare to leave, you begin to hear splashes from the lake behind you.
Everyone will turn to look at the source.
As you turn, you see your companions rising back out of the water and swimming their way towards the coastline of Lake Thalasso. However, as they get closer, you begin to notice some differences.
Everyone's like, well, that's very interesting. Everyone's gonna look to the Eat
As
figure.
a
Sorry. I was just gonna have Raven say something real quick. Yeah, look to each figure. Like, does time move differently in the mirror world?
I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
Does time move different?
Shakes their head and gestures. No. We are seeing a reflection of what's happening on the other side.
Yeah, that's what I was going to guess. The only thing that would make sense.
You first notice the obvious differences with Asari. Them being the most visually colorful of your friends, you notice that their scales are tinted an unnatural green. You also notice Asari is tiny. They're really skinny and incredibly short.
Well, yeah, you are definitely not the lizard person I know.
What'd you say?
Very interesting.
Paul clambers onto the shore, and you watch as Greylog does the same and is like madly scribbling something into a notebook. And they look to you, and Paul is the first one to speak, turning to look at you and speaking in a kind of monotone voice. I thought we told you to wait. What are you doing here?
Well, you see, it would appear that because you entered and then people from this side entered, it's been mirrored. So, welcome to the other side.
It's been a while since I've been back here.
Hey, you've been here before.
Not just been here, I'm from here.
Well, that's very interesting. I guess that means that the one I call Paul is from where you're from.
Paul. He says it in a kind of strange way, almost like it sounds weird to him to say it like that. And he kind of furrows his brow in thought.
What's your name? Lop?
Laup. Laup Tebedra.
Well, then, this continues to get interesting. I'm gonna guess that the trend continues with the rest of you.
the Asari duplicate kind of stares at you, and the Greylog leans over to her, and this is the part where you talk. Oh, they kind of give a somewhat clumsy bow. I am Irasi.
Irasi?
And I'm Golurg.
Well, in this world, I am called Iverman. It's probably going to seem weird to you, as I'm sure your name will seem weird to me.
I think it sounds just very pleasant.
That's good to hear.
We're looking for the Untwin Wand. Do you know where it is?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be here right now.
Alright. Well, you do your thing, we're gonna do ours. And with that,
well, you're certainly different.
Yeah, I'm better.
Certainly confident.
Why shouldn't I be? I'm royalty.
Oh, you're one of those type.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, you're one of those people who think that just because you rolled the dice well, that you're suddenly better than everybody. Also known as the kind of people that I hate.
I don't really care what you think.
Yes, this is going to be very fun. I think I do need to get it out of the way. The usual question someone has to ask. What's my opposite self like?
I mean, he kind of thinks, she kind of thinks about it, and I mean, he's nice, but he's just not very good at things. Yeah!
Interesting. So yes, he is the opposite of me. Most of your counterparts probably would say that they sometimes do not like me very much. But I assure you, I am much better at things than my counterpart.
In that case, he might be useful. I'm going to return to my kingdom and try and figure out where the Untwin Wand is. You're free to do as you like. Frankly, if you want to just stay here, that makes no difference to me. And with that, he snaps his fingers, and the other two kind of jump to attention, and come on, we're burning... it's night here. We're burning moonlight. Yes, sir, Mr. Tabadra. Whatever.
Tell me, when did you switch place with your counterpart?
A few years back. My dad got sick, so I left to figure out what was wrong with him, see if I couldn't find answers on the other side.
Oh, you may be a bit full of yourself, but I can respect that motive.
His nose kind of twitches, but otherwise he seems pretty nonplussed.
Have y'all made a decision about what to do with your door on that side?
Well, that's obvious. We're gonna open it.
The story is different on your side. They say it's cursed.
I mean, yeah, some people say it's cursed, but it's also supposed to have a lot of treasure.
Yeah, they say the same thing about the one here. Unsurprisingly, we came to the opposite result.
Why?
Well, the idea of possibly unleashing a curse that could destroy everything was not pleasant. Technically, our decision has been more we want to know more. If it is just a treasure, then we'll absolutely open the fuck out of it. But we decided to be a little more cautious. But in the meantime, no reason not to collect the trinkets.
Laup kind of tilts his head in thought. Golurg kind of thinks for a minute and, he does make a fair point. If it is cursed, maybe it's a better idea to keep it closed. Laup kind of turns to just stare at him, and the two kind of stare each other down for a moment before Golurg just holds up his hands. Yeah, never mind. Sorry.
You're certainly a barrel of fish.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, nothing.
Well, we're gonna go find the spell twin wand, untwin wand. That one. We're gonna go find that. Do you want to come with us?
Well, I've got nothing better to do until your counterparts return, and it seems like the time that they'll be returning is the time that you'll be leaving. So the sooner you leave, the better.
Agreed. Why would we want to leave? I like it here. Laup kind of glares at her, and she kind of, shrinks under his gaze and just nods.
They're an opposite of the thing in the lake over on your side.
Yeah, it's called soda pop. No, that's not right. They call it water. You're both wrong. They call it tea.
Sounds much more pleasant than eat.
Laup kind of gives a shrug. But eat just sounds so weird. It doesn't sound like an intimidating name for a titan, you know?
It is eating things.
Oh yeah, but I eat things every day. And yet you never grow an inch.
So, did you have to make some kind of deal with it to get here?
All three of them nod. Memories in exchange for passage, just like the first time.
Yeah, I decided I didn't want to spend that.
Laup kind of smirks at you, almost seeming to quietly mock you for not being willing to make that decision. But Arasi kind of pats you on the shoulder, and I completely understand. I was pretty nervous about it at first until Laup helped me find my courage.
If I find your courage, did he throw you into the water?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, about what I expected.
I'm literally in stitches right now.
Well, I guess I'll accompany you. I got nothing better to do with my time.
Alright. He hops into the cart, and as Arasi makes to join him, he kind of with his boot prevents her from getting up. You're walking. You. He snaps his fingers and points to you, Vaben. You get to sit in the cart. Golurg, pull. But
the only thing is, I'm a ranger, so I'm actually more useful outside. I could guide you along through the forest.
That's the idea. You tell that one where to go. We need to get to the city. There's a fort to the north. Should be on the map we got.
Oh. Very well. If I get lost, I can always correct the course.
Laup, sorry, hate to be that guy, but I don't have any wild shapes left. I can't pull the cart. You have legs, don't you? Yes, sir.
Well, that doesn't seem very efficient.
I
Surely if they could turn into an animal, that would be a more faster way of traveling.
Do you want to pull it?
I was going to suggest that maybe we take a short rest. It is nighttime after all.
Yeah, well, I suppose I can afford to wait. Fine. Golurg, Arasi, set up camp. The two of them give him bows of the head and start scattering around the camp and assembling things. Wow, all the stuff here looks so different. And yeah, Avaven looking at it, it is rather odd seeing them who, yeah, their possessions, their skin all have this like distinct green tint to it. But everything they're touching is, you know, just neutrally colored. And it seems that has captivated Arasi.
I'm guessing you see it with a different color.
Well, I had something for this. What was it? Mirrors. Yeah. Mirrors are green.
I thought they were reflectively clear. Isn't that the idea?
Arasi kind of tilts her head. Oh, maybe you're right. But Eat at this point, kind of smirking to themselves. If you hold two mirrors up to one another and search for the smallest point of reflection, the true color of a reflection is green. As a result, reflections take on that tone.
So to them, we look green?
To them, you and I possess more color than they've ever seen in their lives. The reflections are known to sometimes go mad when they see the other side.
Except for Lop. I seen, apparently he's from, wait, hold on. Which one are you from again? This is getting very confusing.
He holds up a hand. I'm from the same world as you, big guy. I'm the prince of the Tebadrons. And by right, their king.
Oh, from what I heard, you're one of them.
I'm the real king.
Aren't you adopted?
Doesn't matter if I'm adopted, I'm the oldest.
Well, it has been a couple years. They probably have figured out this. They probably have figured out the whole issue without you, it seems like.
If that's true, then I'll just kill whoever took the throne from me and take it from there.
You certainly have an interesting way. But from what I understand, that's how most royalty are. There's not really such thing as family. It's just who gets you more power.
Besides, if you're really the opposite of my dark elf, then you shouldn't have any problem with killing people. He's always bitching about it.
Oh, if I think someone deserves it.
Then we shouldn't have any problem.
So a lot of people wind up deserving it.
That's what I like to hear. I think you and I are going to get along just fine. Avaben, was it?
Yes.
Honestly, I kind of prefer you to mine.
Yeah, you seem like you'd be more interested in someone who can fight than someone who can talk.
He kind of leans towards you on the cart, and you have no idea how frustrating it is being the only competent person on this team.
Yeah. Sometimes they make me have that feeling too.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were my counterpart. Come on, you two, pick up the pace. Arasi, stop staring at the tent. Yes, I know it's not green. Nobody cares.
Though I will say, they do seem to be learning.
It's just really
At least
strange.
He glances to you, and I wouldn't bet on it. Arasi, I don't know what yours is like, but Arasi is dumb as a sack of bricks and unfortunately has the constitution of a bomb shelter built out of popsicle sticks. And Golurg, he's a nice enough guy, I guess, but he's a coward. You say one mean word to him and he completely bowls over.
Do you have a twin mind with you?
Yeah. Or sort of.
What happened?
He kind of gives you a smirk and, well, let's see what happens. May not be important, and if it is important, then I'll explain it then.
Interesting.
All right.
I guess I'll say the conversation, sorry, as she's called, she's intelligent in the sense of books, but her knowledge of the practical tends to be a bit lacking. But honestly, she's improving at that.
That's
and
interesting.
Greylog is honestly the exact opposite. He's very good at getting into trouble rather than avoiding it. I mean, you're from this area. I'm sure you know the stories of Grendel, right?
He gives you a smirk and, yeah, I ran into him once in my travels.
Yeah, well, Greylog decided to get into a staring contest with him. Nearly got himself killed.
So that's how it played out here. Interesting.
What happened in your world with, hold on. Let's see, Grendel.
He gives a grin, and as he sees you thinking, and Lednerg is what he's called in our world.
Legnerg.
I knew that he was following us, so I told Golurg to hold still, and we got a bit of distance between him and us, and that put the ogre in a position for us to ambush him. It was a calculated move.
Of a group calling themselves the Boomergangers.
At this, he actually tilts his head, and...
Or reverse of that.
Well, even the reverse of that, no, I haven't heard the name before.
There's no other groups after the items in your world?
There's a few, but none with a name like that. Just some dark elf rebels, and the pirates said they might be interested in going after it. Nobody else.
Yeah, how did the deal with the pirates go?
Went pretty smoothly, actually. I don't know what they're like here, but where we come from, they're really organized. Honestly, it was more of trying to tell them that we didn't need their entire army helping us out, because frankly, we don't. I have this covered, and I'm not interested in owing debts to pirates.
Was there one pirate who had a problem with the organization?
Yeah. I cannot remember for the life of me which one it was, but yeah, there was one of them who was like, oh, like if we keep giving away our resources, everything's going to go to shit, which honestly, I can kind of get that.
Yeah. Well, if they're not as organized, and one of them was trying to make them more organized. I'm guessing that was his opposite.
He kind of nods thoughtfully, and it's been a long time since I've been back here. I'd almost forgotten what it was like. Gotten so used to the other side.
Is your vision green shifting?
Never quite adjusted to that. I knew something was off, but couldn't remember what. Spent years on the other side of that lake. I went to school, traveled the world. But now I'm back, and I'm not interested in going home. Well, what they think is home.
I guess just in case if there's any trouble. Anything you could tell me about the other contenders for your throne who probably hold it by now?
It's just my siblings. Uh, if father is no longer with us, that means mother is probably gone too. Which means it's just my 2 brothers and my sister.
Who do you favor out of that mix?
I favor me.
No, I
I'm
mean,
the
like, who do
oldest.
you think out of that mix would have taken control?
At this, he actually kind of tilts his head, and after a bit of thought, I guess to me, he'd be my middle brother, Zephyr. He's the smartest. He knows what he's doing. Honestly, if he wants the throne, he's gonna get it, no matter what the others have to say about it. If I get back there and find out he's in charge, I may just ask him if he'd be willing to be co-rulers. I wouldn't mind ruling the kingdom alongside him if it was him.
What about your sister? What's her deal?
Thinks that just because she came out of mom, she deserves the throne and doesn't need to actually work for it. She spends all the time in her dungeon tinkering with chemicals.
So that she could poison her competition. The
Yeah,
silent
if they
killer.
were stupid. I have magic. She can't poison me.
Oh, so I'm guessing you take that your brothers wouldn't fall for something like that.
He kind of scratches his head and, I don't know, the youngest might. Caleb always had a soft spot for her.
What's his deal?
He's the youngest. Never really liked mom and dad much, or really any of us. He spent most of his time with my sister, and then they sent him off to school, and he never came back.
Interesting.
And what about you? I'm assuming if you're supposed to be the opposite of the dark elf I'm used to, guessing you and your mom didn't get along that well?
Yeah, not very well.
Hmm.
It does actually raise another question. Do the Dark Elves have, if I'm assuming societies are flipped as well.
From what I've seen, yeah.
So on the Dark Elves, is it the opposite? The male Dark Elves are the evil ones.
Pretty much.
Interesting.
But he was too much of a coward to actually enforce that power. He loved his mom. He was never willing to do anything to hurt her. Till the Wood Elves kidnapped him, I bet he would have just stayed down there for the rest of his life.
Interesting. Yeah, my version of events, I was left. My mother despised me, didn't want anything to do with me, so she left me to the wolves until some Wood Elves found me.
Different reasons, everything's flipped, yet we always end up in the same place.
It was very interesting how it works, though a bit confusing.
You get used to it. Well, since you have me for a proper guide, I can show you around home. Once these 2 bozos set up camp. Hey, you 2, make sure we get the biggest tents. You 2 can sleep outside.
Wait, does Vaven have his own tent?
You know, I don't know if you have a tent. You should have a bedroll. I don't know if you have a tent. Let me check. Yeah, you have a bedroll, but you don't have a tent.
You certainly seem to like commanding other people.
I'm a king. Why shouldn't I?
Fair enough.
Besides, I think if I didn't remind these two how their head was attached, they'd lose that too. If it wasn't for me, we would have lost every single artifact on the way here. He kind of pats you on the shoulder and
Is there any
leans
story
back.
behind that? Sorry, I was looking at something.
Behind what?
How did they almost lose the artifacts?
He kind of smirks, chuckling a little bit, and you know how it is. Let's see. Well, I suggested that we just kill the dragon to get the armor, but everyone, as I said, kind of threw a tantrum about that, so I had to improvise. We ended up getting it, but we had to take him prisoner. It's been pretty nice, though, having a dragon at my beck and call. Let's see. The pistol, well, again, I kind of ended up doing all the work. If it wasn't for your counterpart's lay of the land, I suspect I would have just been dragging him around the whole time. And we ended up losing the wreath.
Yeah, let me guess. The guy sprung his plan early and escaped?
Not quite. We sprung ours early, and admittedly, I wasn't as prepared as I should have been. He said that people like us shouldn't be entrusted with artifacts this powerful, and ran off with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It makes me wonder what his motivations were, because in our world, he was part of that group I mentioned.
He kind of gives a shrug, and, well, we didn't exactly sit down for tea in between trying to kill each other, so fuck if I know. But we're keeping an eye out. We're planning to track him down and take it from him once I get stronger.
Was there a tournament going on?
Yeah, they do a tournament every 100 years. Big pirate ship.
Did you actually participate, or did y'all just decide, fuck it, go for it?
Well, we participated just to get an idea. We thought it was the spear they were giving to the champion at first, but we realized midway through that that wasn't actually what it was. That was just a red herring.
I gotta know, who was the champion?
Some dark elf. Why?
Was he like a tiny little thing?
Yeah, he was just some little pygmy dark elf. Stronger than he looks, though.
Oh, that's very interesting. Because the champion in our world looked very strong, so that almost makes me wonder if he was actually weaker than he looked.
He kind of gives you a smirk, and I gotta see it if you're gonna test that, but I wouldn't get too confident. He nods to the two who are clumsily setting up camp. What you said interests me. You said that Asari in your world is book smart but not street smart. So if it's just opposites, then Arasi should be street smart but not book smart, right?
So, given you might have a little bit of a biased opinion.
Oh, really? Hey, Arasi, come over here. Oh! She immediately pops up and starts kind of hobbling over. Yeah, what's up? Did you know that you have a disease if your hand's bigger than your face? What, really? And she holds her hand up, and he immediately uses that to do the old schoolyard bit of slapping her with her own hand. Why'd you do that? I just had a point to prove. Hey, did you know that if you have a disease, your hand will be bigger than your face? What, really? And she holds her hand up, and he does it again.
Point, right? I guess that verifies it. perfect reflection.
Some things are slightly off. So I gotta know, what am I like? Or rather, the one you're used to, my reflection. What's he like?
He's pretty much the opposite of you. He's considerate of everybody. He doesn't want to boss anyone around. Never wants to kill anyone. He
Yeah,
actually
sounds about right.
stopped me. Honestly, he's not. I say he's fairly competent on his own.
Yep, about what I expected. Well, in that case, you and I should both be pretty happy with this transition. And if I have it my way, it might stay that way. He sits and continues to bark orders at Arasi and Golurg. And the two of you swap the tales of your adventure, which, true to form, your versions of events are always very similar. They always end up in the same core position. But there's always little slight differences. The Divine Five in their world almost seem like a force of terror rather than a force of heroism. Everywhere they go, they leave destruction and pain in their wake, willing to do anything or hurt anyone to get their hands on the keys. And they don't even care if there really is a curse or not. They simply care about the potential wealth that lies on the other side.
Raven's definitely wondering if he might have to snatch that. Might have to snatch the one they're after from them. Because he's not liking what he's hearing. But he'll keep it to himself for now. Just with his usual response of, oh, that's interesting.
Paul? Sorry. Greylock. You begin pulling away from the lake and continue to just observe your strange surroundings. And I will say over the course of the conversation with Avaben, since you guys, if I recall, should be the ones that have the actual map itself, like physically, that means that there is, of course, a counterpart map.
But who has the counterpart map, so...
Yeah, I was gonna say, actually, Asari had the map last.
Oh, that's the counterpart map?
Yeah, this is what their world looks like.
It's the same map, but the colors are different.
It's color different and, of course, mirrored.
Is it?
Yeah. Compare it to the previous one.
I am.
The only difference is that everything got moved down a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's... Because the map I have is the exact same direction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just everything had been up on the towards the north end instead of being there at the river fork.
Let me see. Where's the map on my screen? Here. This is what I have.
Yeah, it looks pretty much the same.
Yeah, this is what I got.
I'm scrolling back up. Yeah, it's kind of the same, just more zoomed out.
Might have been an error on my end, but the coloration is accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to scroll up past the cursed AI images.
Yeah, I had it saved, so...
Yeah, I had to do a few updates to make sure the lake was actually on the map, so may have gotten lost in the editing phase. But yes, I'll do a fixed version later. But yeah, that the coloration is accurate. I just need to flip it. But yeah, this is a glimpse of their world. It's, depending on what you're looking at, actually like almost painful to look at things for too long. The trees have this kind of unnatural, almost glare to them as they reflect the sunlight. It's almost like everything is glass and reflecting light.
Sorry's just gonna sit on a rock or something and just kind of look at the body of water, sadly.
They were leaving.
Yeah,
Can I
maybe.
touch one of the trees? I want to, like, do I, like, still get my druid senses from it? Like, if I were to, like, meditate on it a little bit, can I still sense anything from the trees?
Indeed. They still give off the same nature sense that you're used to.
Can I take out my staff and see if, now that I'm in a mirror world, if maybe it'll work?
If the morals are different here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Come on, you can't blame me for being curious.
yeah, I get it. I mean, I wouldn't have thought about it. Probably. I'd be like, oh, the Mirrorverse.
As you raise the staff and attempt to channel magic through it, nothing happens.
Shame.
And these days, you're gonna do something. It's gonna do something like whoa and worked.
Oh.
You're worthy.
Yeah, one day I'll be worthy.
Nabavi puts a hand on your shoulder, Asarian. Are you ready to go? Do you need a minute?
Yeah, I'm just feeling as useful as tits on a ball.
He kind of winces a little bit, and yeah, well, if it makes you feel better, you're already a little bit of a step above what I'm used to.
She kind of looks up at that. Really? She must be a dumb as brick.
He kind of smiles a little bit, and she's smart in the ways that are important, but yeah, I'll admit that, like, she maybe should have paid a bit more attention in school, but I guess it's not really my business whether she pays attention or not, you know?
My intelligence is very important to me, and it's just like a part of me is missing. And feel about it. It's not like it's like I said, it's like I'm missing something. It's a very odd sensation, because I don't even think I can comprehend, what Greylog said, magic. Just odd for me.
Well, my version of you couldn't do magic either.
So this is her fault, okay.
He kind of smiles and if it makes you feel better, I'm missing something too.
What are you missing?
My friends.
This actually gets a smile from her. Really much nicer than ours ever been. I don't know if he would ever even say that.
My mother always taught me that it was important to be kind to people.
Wait, you actually love your mom?
Yes, she's the most important thing in my world. Why wouldn't I love her?
Oh, no, I get that. 100%. My mum is amazing. Her cup of tea is just delightful. I would love some of it right now. But our vision of you, he had a very tragic thing happen to him. His mum didn't love him at all and threw him away, and I mean, in the end, he found a different family, and that took him in and cared for him.
You can see the baby's face
I think it
darken visibly, and he kind of frowns and furrows his brow.
What?
I'm sorry. Just not a lot makes me angry, but I'm guessing you're talking about the wood elves in your world?
Yes, they were his family. What happened to you?
They took me away.
They kidnapped you.
He kind of gives a small, almost shy nod.
Sorry.
It's not your fault.
No, that must... Well, I mean, it must have been hard. If your mom's anything like my mom, I know it would be hard for me.
He kind of gives a smile and gives you a nod. I'm sure all of you have been through a lot as well. I'm just glad to be away. There was this one in particular, Lao. So glad to put some distance between me and him.
That's funny. In our worlds, they're kind of dating.
Ugh, disgusting.
This actually gets a laugh from her.
I mean, like, you know, love is love, but I'll tell you right now, I'm as straight as an arrow. Not one of my arrows, granted, but an arrow, nonetheless.
Well, I'm not.
At this, he actually kind of tilts his head and smiles. That's going to be hard to get used to.
Oh, is she also straight?
Yeah, most of us are.
That's funny. What about your version of Greylog? Because my version of Greylog is very straight.
Golug's not really interested in anyone. He's asexual, I think.
Huh. Yeah, Greylog and I have been together.
They literally started talking about relationships. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, we're traveling, so
We've
why
been
not?
together for some time.
Are you traveling?
I would say that I'm agreeable to just like move on if we just continue talking.
Yeah, which Navebe gives you a smile and helps you into the cart and sits next to you while Paul pulls the cart along.
Okay, question. When I'm in my animal form and I'm pulling the cart.
Well, you're not in your animal form pulling the cart.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that this is like I was gonna say. Oh wait, I forget I'm not in the other one with the asshole Paul. My bad. I was gonna say, like, is he being a dick with the brains? Because if he was, I was gonna kick him.
You're in the world where nice Paul is.
I'm with the good Paul. Okay.
Just randomly kicks. No. Greylock just randomly kicks Paul, and Paul just like, okay. Not sure what that was for, but whatever.
Oh my goodness.
I'm pulling the cart with my steed.
Yeah, so I'll say that Asari kind of does the same thing Ivaben's doing, but with this version of Ivaben. Just kind of like, you know, comparing, like comparing worlds and like, oh, this happened in my world, what happened in your world? Like, I imagine that she would find it absolutely fascinating.
And as Navabi discusses his adventures, Paul, Greylock, Asari, you all listen, and as you travel, it starts to take on a kind of uncomfortable bent. From what Navabi describes, all of the party is basically under the thumb of Laup Tebedra, who showed up in Tortage one day with no, or rather their version of it, with no memory of who he was, but with a mission to accrue power to rescue somebody important to him. And to that end, he recruited desperate adventurers to assist him and managed to accrue a team who was either too spineless or too stupid to stand up to him. A moronic dragonborn college dropout, a cowardly changeling who would listen to him with the mere threat of violence, and Navabi himself, who needed rescuing and served the party out of a perceived debt, and is, from what he implies, you get the impression he's just too scared to leave.
Man. When Paul, it's like when Paul decides not to be nice anymore.
So, all in favor of staying behind, letting them come back through, and then we just kill this asshole.
But wait, if you don't go back through, then will he come back?
No idea, but I'm willing to find out. And who knows, he may not want to come back. So we might have to go to him. In which case, we kill him, and problem solved for everybody.
What happens if you kill your reflection?
You have no reflection anymore? I don't know. Like you can't look in a mirror and see yourself anymore?
That'd be weird.
Yeah, it might be weird, but
maybe
this dude's a dick.
He's not that bad once you get to know him.
Uh-huh. Are you sure about that? Can I insight him?
Make an insight check. He even agreed
18.
He does seem to believe it, but more out of you get the impression that it's more out of an altruistic sense of trying to stick up for his friend than truly believing it. He seems to believe in the potential for it rather than it being an objective statement at this exact moment. And he kind of gives us a weak smile, and he even agreed to stop killing people for a little while during the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. No offense. I know he's your friend. But that's not really a good friend. You could do way better.
He kind of wiggles a bit uncomfortably, but kind of clearing his throat. So, where are we going? And he looks to you up front, Paul.
Trying to see if I can say this right. What was it? Ardebadra? Or
Are you thinking of Artabat?
Yeah, Artabat. We're heading to Artabat. I need to. Well, by the sounds of it, our goal is there, but mostly I need to make sure I can get there in time to save someone.
Who do you need to save?
It's been so long, but unless he's been dethroned, but it should be the king.
Why do we need to save the king? I mean, I'm willing to help. I mean, if he's a king, he must be a good king, but...
Well, whenever I left, he wasn't doing very good. But
Whenever you left?
Yes. I left to find a way to save him, and maybe now I can.
He kind of looks at you, seeming confused, but then kind of blinks and... this might be weird, but, can you stick out your tongue?
I guess he will do
That's a request.
Yeah, he will do so.
Greylog, sorry. You remember that when Paul did this the first time, his tongue was stained by the contamination of Eat, a mark that he did not belong in this world, that Eat owned him for all intents and purposes. But now, his tongue is normal, fleshy, and pink. He's where he belongs. Wait, so if your tongue is pink, what about you two?
I stick out my tongue.
Me too. Is it blue? Is it blue?
Both of your tongues are a dark, midnight, bluish black, stained by the presence of Eat. You are in a world where you do not belong.
Oh, so all the people with blue tongues are not from this world.
If they take Eat's passageway, their tongues are stained to indicate that that's how they got in. Essentially, Eat, it is a marking that indicate Eat is holding on to your memories, but will return them on your return. It's a reminder to always go back to the lake when your business is done. And Paul, as that unsettling implication hovers in your mind, as your memories return to you, you find yourself recalling the motto of the Kingdom of Artabat. Veritas, reditus, ec mortis. Truth, generosity, fairness, death.
That's very interesting.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh my goodness. This was a lot.
3 years I've been waiting for this.
It's amazing.
A bit worried by the fact that we're going to
Amazing.
Major, because that means, I'm about to find out if Caleb's mission is actually possible.
I mean,
I'm sure.
Well, I did
things
notice
will
something. He said Caleb didn't come back. He didn't
is
mention
interesting.
the ball where Caleb returned.
the wasn't at Pedra, but I don't know.
Well,
if
it was
this
in, but
was
he doesn't
there?
mention the part where Caleb returned from his trip.
I'm just trying to think, because that means he might have already left in our world in Tuesday's game.
Interesting.
So he doesn't know anything.
We've established Paul's been in this world for at least 2 or 3 years. That's more than enough time for Laup to have left midway through Tuesday to find a cure for the king's infection, but sacrificing his memories to T in order to journey to the other world.
Yeah, he only knows he left when he got sick.
True.
There's a big gap there. Hopefully he's still well and done, so I can save him.
Welcome to the mirror world. I've been excited to introduce this.
I can tell.
This is definitely going to be interesting for sure.
I'm assuming the links are still broken, but we have an official D5 Discord server. If you want to hang out with us directly, please feel free to find us or message me on Twitter or any of my socials, and I'd be more than happy to give you an invite. Support our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. Our website is down for maintenance at the moment, but before it returns from the grave like a filthy necromancer journeying to into the world of mirrors, you will be able to find it at officiald5hub.info. And check out, if you want to catch us live, our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/OddTornadoProductions. And check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon, on Ko-fi at kofi.com/OddTornadoProductions, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd, TNO capitalized, if you want to get immediate updates on when we go live and just see postings and advertisements for all the other stuff that we're involved with. And if you want to see more of this party, plus or minus a few, tune in tomorrow, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, for our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of politicians and nobles trying to unravel a political conspiracy if they can stop stabbing each other in the back long enough. Thanks everyone at the table so much for playing. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.